Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt his worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. O night divine, O night when Christ was born. O night divine, O night, O night divine, fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. O night divine, O night when Christ was born. O night divine, O night, O night divine. Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Christmas Eve, and yes, this is Saturday morning, 804-289-UR90, 804-289-8790 to be a part of the show. Yes, it is Christmas Eve. And of course, as we were discussing in the last hour, want to know exactly what your favorite Christmas gifts were growing up. That's really what we want to talk and hear about. What was your favorite Christmas gifts growing up as a child? Favorite Christmas memories as well. Also, do you have a favorite Christmas special? We're just listening to Charlie Brown there just a few moments ago. I figured that Oh Holy Night would be appropriate to sing after that. So we are broadcasting live at Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman here on YouTube, and we are broadcasting live on WDCE 90.1 FM. So yes, once again, you need to download the Simple Radio app. Download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to the show live here in person. So shout out to everyone in the chat: White Vegeta, Deadman1, Cato's Collection, DFS Infinite, the Duchess of Darkness, Big M, MC DJ, Ash Bailey, Roundhead, and so, but we are here. Bionic Commando and Legend. We're still on video games. You can tell that this is a video game generation. But you know what's interesting is we do live in a video game generation now. But the video games that they're playing now have nothing compared to the video games of the 80s. Just like the toys of the 80s were a lot better than the toys that there are today. No matter what people say, sometimes you would hear people that they would say, well, the toys today are better than they were in the 80s because blah, blah. No, they weren't. No, they were not. And if you think that they were, then you are missing the entire point, because it was imagination. Imagination that has been destroyed, it seems, by the evil, maniacal Lord Blanket. What was that? Yeah, listen, I see you back there. But have no fear. The imagination of children around the world should be safe. As well, Triple D in the chat too. as well. So we were talking earlier about Christmas traditions. We talked about Christmas carols, Christmas trees, Santa Claus, and stockings. But of course, there are other things that we can talk about as well. Super Contra and Super Tecmo Bowl. Super Tecmo Bowl was great. Oh, it's funny. Roundhead, you said Super Tecmo Bowl at the same time that Kenzo over here said Tecmo Bowl too. So jinx all of you guys on the same wavelength. So this is how synchronicity works. So yes, of course, Kato, the best Christmas song ever. I completely agree with you. But yes, Kenzo over here was saying that my mom hid it between a pack of 5 NES protective cases. And that was always a good one. The original Tecmo Bowl, which had Walter Payton. You remember Walter Payton? Shout out Destiny. Hello, Destiny. Walter Payton was amazing because what you would do is you would give Walter Payton the football. Bo Jackson was another one. You remember Bo Jackson and Walter Payton? Bo Jackson and Walter Payton. You would sit there, you would grab the football, and then you start going. You're doing a zigzag. You start doing a zigzag, going up and down, up and down, up and down, and no one could ever tackle you because you're doing the zigzag pattern. And if people who grew up with that remember that. Once you give Walter Payton, Bo Jackson the ball, that was a wrap. That was a wrap. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But Marcus Allen was another one. So, okay, Kinzo says Bo Jackson was a killer, and I hate the Raiders. Well, that's because you're a Broncos fan. You were a Broncos fan. It took you all those years in the '80s where they kept losing, and eventually you finally up winning 2 back to back with John Elway. John Elway being a beast. John Elway being a beast. I spent my time in Denver. Lived just outside of Denver in Inglewood, actually. But Willie Galt was too fast. That was another one. We're bringing up all these old names. And it was the Tecmo Bowl, with the Tecmo Bowl era, the Tecmo Super Bowl era, and then out of nowhere, John Madden came around. John Madden first being developed on, I believe, the PC Engine, possibly the Sega Genesis was the first one that, if I recall, the Sega Genesis one came out, I believe, a year before the Super Nintendo one hit. But it is one of those. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor, the sack master, indeed, Roundhead. But yes, a lot of fond memories. A lot of fond memories with Sega. Yeah, a lot of fond memories with Tecmo Bowl and also John Madden's football. John Madden, of course, passing away last year. But everyone remembers those John Madden football games. Another football game. Do you remember Sports Talk Football? That was on the Genesis as well. That was the first game that had commentary. That was the very first game. Yeah, Sports Talk Football. Joe Montana's Sports Talk Football, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Montana's Sports Talk Football was a good one. But it is Christmas Eve. It is the 24th day of December in the year 2022, and it is 10:22 here on the East Coast. So shout out to everybody who is listening and joining in. We are here broadcasting live on Instagram at Sam Newsman on Instagram, here at Sam Newsman over here on YouTube. And we are doing a Christmas special. It is a Christmas special. We do this Christmas special once a year, and we play a lot of Christmas songs and Christmas themes and Christmas goodies that you won't hear anywhere else. There's a lot of Christmas stations that play a lot of Christmas music during the holiday, but they're not going to be playing what we play here. No, they're not going to be playing what we play here. And what you should be playing at your house is probably the heater. Yeah, is the heat on? Because, man, it was cold this morning. It was so cold that the doorway into the station wouldn't even work. That was pretty ridiculous. The doorway to come into the station was not even operating correctly. Had to go and call the police. Had to call the police officers over at the campus police station to let us in. But we were able to get in. Triple D saying that they still have a half an inch of ice all over the street in Oregon. Ninja Gaiden also was another one. Destiny saying that her phone says 16 degrees. But it is definitely cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. Oh, you can't sing that, though. It's been canceled. But we are taking phone calls. 804-289-UR90. 804-289-8790. Caller, you are live here on the Christmas Eve holiday special here with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, Sam Newsman. State your name and where are you calling from? Hey, TNT Nate. Listen, how cold is it where you are right now? You are in Kentucky.
-2 degrees, man.
-2 degrees, and you still have power, so your heat is still working.
Oh yeah, I have the backup generators, all the things. I'm in the wilderness here in Kentucky, Sam, so we have to be prepared.
Well, I'm glad that you are prepared. I got the message a little bit earlier that you've had the sniffles for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I
How
think Dr. Killamoff may be trying to put things in the water around here, Sam. So they didn't get to me. I do with my vitamin C, my zinc, and D3. So anything that I get doesn't last too long. But yes, I had a little case of the sniffles. I'm not sure if General Shu had anything to do with it. I'm sure Lord Blanket. I'm sure Lord Blanket would love to hear that. But TNT Nate does not rest, Sam. This week is all fun, though. It's about Christmas, it's about the spirit of giving. We won't, go into the actual meaning of Christmas here. We're just going to stick with the spirit of giving. And I wanted to make sure I wished all the listeners a very Merry Christmas and answer any questions that you may have so you guys can get to know TNT Nate.
Well, TNT Nate, of course, you can follow TNT Nate at TNT Nate on Instagram. That's at TNT Nate on Instagram. Now, Nate, now you grew up in the '80s, if I'm not mistaken. So, do you have a favorite Christmas memory in particular? Maybe a gift.
Christmas is my favorite time of year, Sam. The best, I will say, I had two gifts that I really took to heart as a kid. I don't know if you remember these, Sam. I used to love the little battle beasts.
Oh yes, Battle Beast. Yes, Battle
Yeah,
Beast.
it was basically like the best version of paper, rock, scissors ever. And then if you get the sunburst out of when you're warring with the other person, right? If you get the sunburst, then you beat all the other powers. So it was a good way, and they weren't expensive back in the '80s. Mom and Dad didn't have a ton of money to go get me stuff, but when I got the Battle Beast, it was the best. And also the first NES, Sam.
Did you have a particular game that you enjoyed on the NES? People have been talking about NES games.
Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the very first one. So that would be the one where you had to go after you jumped out from the dam, you jumped into the water and you had to defuse the bombs. Is that the one that you're talking about?
It was the best. One of the best video games ever made. Oh, and Castlevania was also another favorite of mine as a kid.
Oh, so yeah, so Castlevania always creeped me out. Always creeped me out. I was always afraid when night would fall, and then
Yeah.
everybody would turn into a zombie, and you'd have.
Those are my two favorites. I think that was my favorite. Those are definitely my favorite toys, Battle Beast. Now they're crazy. I tried to go buy some not too long ago, and they're really expensive. So I just bought one little figure so I could just keep it in my memory banks, and then I let everybody else go spend hundreds on little figures.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for some of them. It is absolutely insane. I have a friend of mine, Retro Mike. Retro Mike, he lives out in Tacoma. Retro Mikey has the entire complete set of Battle Beast. Battle Beast also had several playsets. They have several playsets and vehicles as well. Don't really see those that often, but definitely way expensive, way too expensive. So, but you're a Nintendo guy. You weren't a Sega guy.
Ninja Gaiden, Sega, maybe, but mostly Nintendo. Because I had to hone as a 7-year-old kid. One of the other games that I really loved, I had to hone my skills. Had to get used to. I had Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was a classic, and it came with the first Nintendo, so you didn't have to go buy an extra game.
I always used to get mad at that little dog when I would not be able to hit the ducks all the time. So that dog would sit there and he'd come up out of the grass and start laughing at you and say, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." So it was terrible. It was terrible, and you couldn't shoot the dog. Eventually you just start trying to shoot the dog, and ping, 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 and of course nothing would happen. He would just stare at you and laugh at you. Another thing that was
I
interesting.
just found out this year that you could play 2 player.
Wait, you didn't know that you could play 2-player back in the day?
No, man. You had to me and TNT Nate friends would just be there passing the gun around. I had no clue that you could play 2 player with the remote and the gun.
Yes, you can, and you know what? But the interesting thing, LCD TV, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need to actually have one of those TVs with the glass front faces. One of those old tube TVs. Because if you were to plug in, yes, because if you were to plug in a Nintendo and try to do Duck Hunt now, wouldn't be able to work just right. Now, I believe they do have several toggle switches and things you can plug in to make it work, and light gun things that modernize, blah blah blah. But if you were to just plug in a Nintendo into your LCD screen in 2022, you'd be a miss and be pretty upset at the fact that you can't shoot the ducks. Another thing that they had too was the clay shooting. There was clay shooting on that as well. Do you remember the clay shooting?
Yeah, man, I love it.
You
Because, I mean, I also got the same year, I got my duck hunt, just like other kids in the 80s. We all got, I mean, because everyone watched a Christmas story, right? So we all got BB guns too. So, needless to say, there was a whole generation of kids running around neighborhoods with BB guns. After playing duck hunt, we thought we were marksmen, Sam. And so it's definitely great memories. I told you I have a ton of them when it comes to Christmas. What's your favorite Christmas movie, Sam? Let's learn a little bit about you. I'll tell you mine.
So if I had to pick one Christmas movie, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were thinking about if you had to put every Christmas movie together, and you had to pick just one, the one that does not seem to let up at all, because when you think about movies, and movies stepping on the gas and just going one scene after another scene, and it just doesn't ever slow down or stop. I would have to say probably the one that comes to my mind would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. No,
The best Christmas movie of all time.
it does not have any dull moments whatsoever. And I would ask if anybody could think of a dull moment in that movie. I am completely positive that you will not be able to think of a moment in that film where it gets slow or it drags or
I knew
anything.
you were one of the good ones, Sam. I knew you were one of the good guys. Best Christmas movie of all time. I mean, when are we going to take after Eddie and go look for the actual problem? I mean, that was the whole point of the movie, Sam. Eddie, the klutz, the guy that nobody wanted around, who solves the problem at the end? Oh, Eddie. He goes and gets the big old tycoon, the guy making the decisions, and puts him in front of the people, Sam. I mean, this is what needs to happen in Toy Town. It was just a lesson for all of us kids. Now, these days, it doesn't seem like anyone remembers that lesson, but lessons to be learned in a Christmas Vacation.
Everyone needs to be like Uncle Eddie.
He was amazing at having everything paid for. I mean, you could just follow it. You could just live like Eddie. And I think these days things would work out.
Well, the interesting thing about old Uncle Eddie, not only did he save the day in Christmas Vacation, but he saved the entire world from an alien invasion on Independence Day.
Thank you, Sam. Great correlation there. That's right. And the poor guy in real life had to go hide in Canada afterwards. Coincidence? I think not, Sam.
I think that you're absolutely correct on that. Now, if you had to, now what about Christmas specials? The Charlie Browns, the Garfields, and things.
I was a huge, so I've always been a sleuth, and I will continue to be a sleuth. And people, just because we're letting off the gas a little today and having a little fun for Christmas, don't think we're not going to talk about Elon's AI that creates AI. Don't think TNT is on the job, okay? But I've always been a sleuth, so my favorite specials as a kid starts with the Nutcracker Scoop. It aired on December 1st, 1984, Sam. And it was Scooby-Doo special, one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And then they continued to air Christmas specials after that. They still do to this day. But the Nutcracker Scoop was a great start for me as a kid. Also, the California Raisins. That was wonderful to watch. I know the producer there is a big fan of the California Raisins. How about you, Sam?
Yes, well, I was about to say that Will Vinton's Claymation Christmas, debuted in 1987, is one of my favorites as well. Same thing with Garfield Christmas. Garfield Christmas.
It aired the same day, didn't it?
It aired the same day, 1987, and they
Memory over here. Yeah, I
back
remember that.
back to back. So the Garfield Christmas premiered, and then right after Garfield Christmas, Will Vinton's Claymation Christmas Celebration was directly after that. So definitely good memory on that one. So
No, the
touche.
80s were just the best. They were the best.
They were the best. So you mentioned your Nintendo, and you were also you're a card collector too. Did you get a lot of baseball cards and cards for the holidays?
I didn't even bring that up. That's a whole can of worms, man. Yeah, I was, me and my dad collected cards. We took it to another level. I had the the top original, the Fleer, the top Stadium Club. We had everything, every set, alphabetized, organized. We must have collected 20,000 cards then, and unfortunately, they were stolen from me later in life. So,
Oh,
those memories that were behind those cards were just amazing. Yeah, we had all the best cards. I know the producer over there too had collected a bunch of cards, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it has a bunch of cards. Probably not as a swath of cards that you might have. I believe he just collected football cards, maybe some basketball cards, and some Marvel cards. You know, Marvel cards, superhero cards. Those were a thing back in the day as well.
Oh, those
Uh,
were the best. The Fleer Marvel cards. Fleer came out with that set.
yeah, so you have so the Fleer cards. Also, another one that was very popular, the 1992 Joe Jusko Marvel Masterpiece set.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Probably one of my favorites. They also had a couple of different Marvel cards. They had X-Men cards, 1989 Batman Returns, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had a card set. Dick Tracy, a lot of superhero card sets that were very popular during the 80s. Now if I remember, if my memory serves me correctly, your favorite superhero is Wolverine.
Okay, Superman first,
Okay.
Spider-Man, then Wolverine
Okay, so Wolverine is third.
third. I have his. I still have his. I was able to save because I had it hidden away in a different spot. I still have Wolverine #1 in my collection today, the first comic, and that was released, I believe, in the early '80s. I think I think my birthday, birth year, '82.
In 1982. So big fan of
82 or 81, one of those. Don't quote me on that. It's going off the top of my head here. And I did collect. Uh, I collected old Ninjak comics, which were awesome. They came out in the early '90s. And I also was a huge collector of Moon Knight, which I believe just had a series come out recently. It was pretty good. But those are my ones. I collected those the most. Man.
Oh well, those are definitely good superheroes, and of course, you know, here we are broadcasting live here on the 24th day of December in the year 2022. It is Christmas Eve, and we're talking to TNT Nate. Now, Nate, of course, there's one last thing that I did want to ask you about, and that would be your favorite Christmas song. Your favorite Christmas song. Do you have a Christmas song that when you think of the holiday season, and
I believe the title is a Nat King Cole song, and I believe it's called the Christmas song. Um, and that is my favorite Christmas song of all time. Nat King Cole's Christmas album is my favorite album of all time, man. No.
what happened? What? Wait, did he get cut off? Did he get? They cut the hard line. Was it you? What happened? Oh, oh no. It must have been. Not exactly sure. Oh well, hold on. Let's see if that maybe there was a disconnect. Hello, are you still there?
Is General Shu up to no good on Christmas Eve? Can he not take a break? I was just talking about Nat King Cole. Does he have a thing against Nat King? General Shu.
I'm not sure.
He must have cut the hard line. General Shu never stops. Lord Blanket, can you stop with the orders? Can you get the men from behind? We're just talking about Christmas here. This is ridiculous. You're about to get me going. But anyway, folks, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Remember to keep the imagination alive because what you imagine creates your reality. So be happy, spread joy, hope, and love. And TNT Nate will be back with all of the truth bombs next week. Have a very wonderful Christmas, Sam, and I will talk to you later. TNT Nate out.
Once again, that is TNT Nate calling up and giving us a little bit of Christmas magic. Phone lines are still open at 804 289 UR90. 804 289 8790 to be a part of the show. He was just talking a few moments ago about the Christmas song, by Nat King Cole. So we do have, I think, another caller calling in right now. So let's see if we can get this. Caller, you are live with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. Sam Newsman here on Christmas Eve. State your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Flex.
Flex, the ghost Flex. Yes, the ghost of Christmas toys. The ghost of Christmas toys. Flex, how are you? Merry Christmas Eve. How are things going on the other side of the veil?
Doing great.
Well,
Tecmo Super Bowl is the greatest game of all time.
so you were a fan of Tecmo's Super Bowl. Did you now?
I love
So who did you play with? What was the team that you played with?
all of them. Eagles, the Cowboys, the 49ers, Patriots are even good.
Now were you able to was it one of those things where that you made your own creative characters too? I believe that in Tecmo Super Bowl you were able to create your own character. Was that
I did.
you didn't? You just played with the teams as they were as they were.
Yeah.
Well, I must say that the Tecmo Super Bowl is a fantastic game. People have been talking about it all morning. So on the other side of the veil, everybody knows that of course Flex is a ghost. Flex the ghost. Are you still able to play games on the other side of the veil?
Yeah.
You are.
I'm able to play games.
You're-
People in their lives.
Ooh, okay. So now as far as other toys and Christmas memories, do you have anything that really sticks out in your mind? Because I know that you preferred to take toys and action figures and destroy them, strap firecrackers to your GI Joe and Transformers, which I believe that that's probably one of the reasons why your toys eventually came and decided to take you to the other side. But is there a particular toy and action figure that comes to mind, other than just the Tecmo Super Bowl video game?
Yeah. My favorite toys are the ones that break, of the little kids' toys that break on the first day of Christmas.
The, the,
Those
the
are my favorite toys.
your favorite toys are the toys that break on the first day of Christmas. You mean as a kid just opens them up? A kid
Yeah.
a kid opens up his toys and all of a sudden they break. That's your favorite type of toy, a broken toy o- on Christmas Day. That would be your favorite toy. I can't believe it. Well, I tell you what, what's also broken on Christmas is the fact that people sometimes say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Do you believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Flex?
Die Hard is
It is a Christmas movie. Is it your favorite Christmas movie?
my favorite Christmas movie. It's Halloween.
Halloween.
I watch it on Christmas.
Well, now do you eat candy too?
No,
You don't eat candy.
don't eat food on this side of the veil.
No food on that side of the veil. Well, I can tell you what. Now as far as being on the other side of the veil, I'm sure that you are familiar with Krampus. So, how is Krampus doing this year, and is he going after the children who are naughty?
Doing, doing well as always.
He's doing swell. Is he putting coal in people's stockings?
Yeah.
Did he put
And other
coal and other things? And taking kids and putting them in his basket and taking them away and whipping them with sticks. And of course, you probably enjoyed that as well. Seeing all those poor children who are naughty this year, being taken away by Krampus. So is it is well? Let me ask you a question. Is your stocking been filled with coal?
old.
Filled with souls, filled with souls indeed. Well, I tell you. Well, listen, Flex. I want you to know that It is the holiday season, and we want everyone to just be very, very careful. And if you have to give everyone out there listening a message from the other side of the veil, what would it be?
I would say make sure mishandle, make sure you handle your Christmas gift so I get to have it. And my other message would be directly to you, Sam.
What's that?
I can't wait until you break.
No, you can't wait till I break. No, I'm not going to break. Oh, no, we can't wish that. We can't wish that. No, 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 not going to happen. On the other side, they're waiting for you. They're waiting for me on the other side. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. No, no, there's a stocking with my name on the other side. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is concerning me. This is a big concern. But I'll tell you what, today I'm not going to break. It's not going to happen because it is Christmas Eve, and I'm not going to break tomorrow either, Flex. You just let them know on the other side that this media puppet still has several more Christmases to go. But if that's what well, it does. Yes, it does. Well, Flex, I'll tell you what. When it does come down to it, I'll see you on the other side of the veil. Ladies and gentlemen, Flex the ghost, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Flex. You have a terrible, horrible, no good Christmas. Okay?
I shall, and I wish the same for everyone else. Just wait to see what I get tomorrow.
Broken toys, and crying children. That's what Flex has. Flex, you have a terrible evening and a terrible Christmas Eve and a terrible Christmas day.
You as well.
All right. Goodbye. Take care. Take care. That is Flex the Ghost, ladies and gentlemen. Flex the Ghost calling in from the other side of the veil. And talking about me breaking down. You can't wait for me to break down. I'm not going to break down. I can't break down. Shout out to people, of course, over here in Instagram. Tiny Plastic Universe in Instagram. Kid with a Kung Fu Grip. Animal Mother Customs 80. We are here broadcasting live at Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman over here on YouTube. And, well, once again, 804 289 UR90. 804 289 8790. But so we're gonna take probably another little break here. We'll take another break, and we'll come back on the other side with one more segment. One more segment. Once again, if you want to call, be a part of the show. 804 289 UR90. 804 289 8790. At Sam Newsman on Instagram. At Sam Newsman over here on YouTube. Download the Simple Radio app. Go download the Simple Radio app. Search WDCE so you can listen to the songs that we're about to play here in the next segment. Because you can't play the songs here live on Instagram and YouTube. They get flagged. Can't have that happen. But oh wait, we have one more phone call. All right, one more phone call. One more phone call. Then we'll head over here to this next music break. Caller, you're live here with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, Sam Newsman. State your name and where you're calling from.
Calling from San Diego, California,
DFS over in San Diego, California. So I'm guessing that it's not negative 2 degrees, 6 degrees, 10 degrees like it is over here on the East Coast. Is that correct?
No, it's killing 63 degrees this morning, and the sun is shining, thawing my cat in the window.
Thawing your cats at 63 degrees while everyone else here is just shaking in their boots. You know, like I was telling people earlier that the door was frozen solid this morning. Couldn't even get into the station. I had to call the police to open up the door for me, which they did. So definitely shout out to the boys in blue here on campus for allowing me to get here into the station. So how are you doing, DFS? DFS, let me know, what exactly was your favorite Christmas memory growing up?
Okay, well, I'm doing great, and my favorite Christmas memory was I was probably 5 years old, and my brother told me that there was no such thing as Santa Claus.
And you told him that that's a lie, right? Because there is such thing as Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, I told him that there was no way that's not
But they were being assembled by Santa's elves. That's the
Yeah, well, my father, I guess he was Santa.
you know el-
Very,
well yeah.
yeah, he was part elf. That's why I consider him my elf.
Oh, so you're part elf as well.
Oh, yeah, part elf.
Well, that probably that's that. Well, that makes total sense because you are currently in the process of making your own
Yeah,
toys,
exactly.
and that's where it all stems from. So it doesn't surprise me one bit the fact that you are part elf, because as of today you are making your own toys, something that you've always wanted to do for quite a while. And is there a particular toy that you remember growing up as a kid that you got for Christmas that really made you excited?
So, yeah, it was part of that same story. I looked in the closet, and there was the G.I. Joe Coco vehicle, the ballistic battle ball. And, I took it out of the closet, and I showed my brother, and I was jumping for joy. And I asked him if it was a real vehicle in real life that was, something that was used in the theater of war. And he looked at me like I was crazy, and he said no. And he told me to put it back in the closet before we got busted. Quit playing with it.
The well, but well, who knows? I mean, maybe it was classified. It was a classified vehicle. They're not going to sit there and just broadcast it all over. The military is not going to broadcast those classified vehicles, such as a pogo. You got to keep those under wraps. I mean, it was years before was it the stealth bomber, the B 2 bomber was even shown off.
That's why I said he was.
Yep, that's right. Yes, absolutely. So it took years for that, and even when it was around, the government denied it, because of the classific. It was still classified, and they didn't want to let everybody know. So,
Anything that you can't recognize in the sky is automatically unidentified flying object.
but it doesn't mean that there's aliens. But it doesn't
No,
mean no. Right, right, right.
it just means we can't identify it. So, we don't know what.
But we could identify a pogo, right? Because we now know what one looks like. Because
Oh,
you
of course.
because that's really what GI Joe was all about. GI Joe was nothing more than soft disclosure for children of the '80s.
Right.
Weather dominator and mind control and everything that the military actually had that was in operation. They just decided to let everybody know about it in cartoon form.
And yes, terrorist organizations and arms dealers prepared us for the truth.
It did prepare us for the truth, and the big truth out of all of that is the fact that Destro was supplying weapons to the Joes. Did you know that?
Right, right.
That is the truth. Listen, when I asked Sergeant Slaughter about this several years ago, I asked him, "Will those episodes of Destro supplying weapons to the Joe ever be declassified?" And he told me directly, "Sam, I don't think that those episodes will ever come out in public." And
Yeah,
he said it himself. He said it himself, but he did confirm that Destro did supply weapons to the Joes. Everybody thinks that Destro is just a bad guy, that Mars is a criminal organization. No, no, Mars is just playing both sides of the field,
right.
supplying both of them. But that is
You have time stamp for a story of a winter solstice that that isn't part of our culture.
absolutely. We have about 3 or 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so in Hopi, specifically Olduvai, the Kakinas come down and they come and they stay with the people for half of the year. And part of the winter solstice is to teach children how to stay in favor of the gods and be uh, proper people, Hopi people. So there's a group of people in the society called the Pastanam who are kind of like they can embody the spirit messengers,
children that they know what they've done wrong that year. So they plead with the Soyoko. They appease them with cheesy bread, the small thin bread that's prepared this time of year. And if the children run, then they have to be captured by the Soyoko. And it's rare that they run. Well, if they leave and they're appeased, the next morning the children will wake up to a katina doll, which is a embodiment of a spiritual God that aids them this time of year. There's over 250 kinds of katina. So this is how the children learn the gods and their role in society.
And that's something that's done and that's taught to them every holiday during this time of year?
Yeah. This is the beginning of the winter solstice. This is the beginning of the katina when they come to aid in the harvest and various Hopi life way traditions.
Well, that's a fantastic story, and I'm sure that if you could probably Google Chikina dolls, and you'd be able to see exactly you'd be able to see what these look like, and how long does the season last? Just here at the beginning, during the winter solstice, during around the 21st, or does it last for several weeks, several months? Oh, so it lasts up until the summer solstice,
Right.
so about a half a year.
Yeah, about half a year.
Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. I had no clue. But now I'm educated, and all our entire audience is educated as well. One of those old commercials that you see at the end of a show. The more you know with the rainbow, the more you know.
Right.
So- Well, do
It
you?
was great. It was great talking to you, man.
y-
With you and your family. Wonderful Christmas.
Yeah,
Even Lord Blanket.
yeah.
I hope he has a great Christmas. So,
I'm sure he'll do something ridiculous, but definitely you and your family as well. Have a great Christmas and a wonderful holiday season, and we'll be definitely checking you out. That's DFS Infinite on Instagram, and you have a wonderful Christmas Eve and a Merry Christmas as well. Thanks for calling into the show.
thank you.
All right, that is DFS, ladies and gentlemen, DFS, and we'll be back, of course, here on the other side of the break here in just a moment. I've got a couple of Christmas jingles here. And like I said, we'll be back up at the top of the hour. At Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman over here on YouTube. Download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE 90.1 FM to listen to the show on the radio stream, the way how the show is intended to be. Once again, the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real puppet. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman. This is Christmas Eve, and this is Saturday morning.